Ah, the Maya Riviera. With gorgeous resort towns like Playa del Carmen and Tulum, this stretch of paradise is home to more yoga studios, hipster art, and social media influencers than you can shake a stick at.
Sorry. Keep rolling. I'm gonna just look at this because there's another.
At least that's what
Okay.
Instagram would have you believe. But the history on this sliver of the Yucatan Peninsula runs much, much deeper. 500 years ago, this was home to some of the last remnants of the great Maya civilization. The monuments they left behind still tower over the landscape of the Yucatan.
Maya builders had no metal tools for cutting limestone. They also didn't have any horses or oxen or beasts of burden. They used physics, rolling huge blocks of stone on logs and leveraging them into place. It was human strength and ingenuity at its best that constructed massive stone monuments like this right here, Nohokmul Pyramid in the ancient city of Goba. At 137 feet tall, this is the tallest pyramid in the Yucatan.
Yeah, he's a smart dude.
Fake it till you make it.
We traveled here to learn a bit more about the history of the Maya and their ancestors, and their close relationship with nature, specifically water.
The Yucatan Peninsula is basically a platform of soluble limestone rock. Now, this area is unique in that there are hardly any above-ground rivers. However, the landscape is riddled with underwater caves and sinkholes that we call cenotes. I like to think of the cenote as sort of an underwater time capsule. And today, we're going to explore a few.
Diving through these cave systems, we see intricate formations, stalactites, stalagmites, columns. This indicates that during the last ice age, many of these cenotes were dry caves, a powerful reminder of how different this area would have looked 15 or 20,000 years ago. In 2007, archaeologists discovered the bones of a teenage girl in the same cave system we are now exploring. Her skeleton, dated to 13,000 years old, is the oldest complete skeleton discovered in the New World.
Today, the cenotes are full of life-giving water, and most are connected by an extensive underwater river system. In fact, the Sistema Sacactun is believed to be the largest underwater cave system in the world. The Maya believed that the cenote was the gateway to the underworld, and many of them are littered with sacrificial remains.
This source of fresh water made life possible in the Yucatan, and many Maya cities were built around cenotes. But they could only guess what lay hidden beneath the surface. In some, we dive through clouds of poisonous hydrogen sulfide. Through holes in the ceiling, magical shafts of light pierce the darkness. It is impossible to experience the grandeur of these caverns without thinking about the myths and legends of the Maya. Cenotes like the Pit and Dos Ojos are geologic marvels. In fact, millions of years ago, the entire Yucatan Peninsula was a submarine environment. Ancient corals, sediment, and tiny marine animal skeletons fused together to form the limestone bedrock that makes up the peninsula today. When sea levels eventually dropped, the peninsula emerged from the sea. Rainwater mixed with organic material becomes slightly acidic over time, and the weak carbonic acid solution eats away at the soluble limestone rock as gravity pulls it downwards. This is the process that has turned the Yucatan Peninsula into a Swiss cheese network of sinkholes, caves, and underground rivers, a classic landscape referred to as karst topography. In between dives, our guide, Dominic from Best Cenote Dives, offered to give us the kind of tour that most tourists never experience.
Here we go. We're about to explore the Maya Underworld. Very excited about this.
Yeah, so when we moved here, we moved to the jungle and we found 3 cenotes in the jungle and we've explored them. We found ritual offerings made to the Maya god Chuck. We found prehistoric animal bones, and it's just awesome to be able to explore and to go where no one has been before, you know.
So we head deep into the jungle property where Dom lives, accompanied by his enthusiastic pack of rescue dogs who, apparently, are as excited about this adventure as we are.
Is yours?
Underneath here, about 5-10 meters down, we found the skull. We put it on the web and someone identified it as a cougar. So we think that those are probably the bones of the cougar, the rest of the cougar, and his head's just rolled in after he's died. And then we've got monkey bones here as well. And we've connected this cenote with the other one underground, and we've also connected this one further downstream as well.
So we're getting like an exclusive here, which is really cool. So where did you take us now?
So
where are we right now?
We're in the cenote we call the House of the Bats. So it's the 3rd cenote. It's connected to the last one, the House of the Jaguar and the House of the Ring. So there is a line in here that we can follow underground, underwater. It takes us to the other 2. Mucho calor.
Mucho calor. Yeah, it's really hot in here.
Yeah, I know.
This place is notoriously hot and humid in the summer, and there's no better way to cool off than to get back in the water. Many of these cenotes are quite close to the coast. In some, like Nicteja, we dive through haloclines, layers where fresh and salt water mix. This does bizarre things to the visibility, and only adds to the otherworldly sensation we have while exploring these caverns. Only 100 yards from the sea, Casa Cenote is sandwiched by jungle and wildlife on one side, beach resorts and the Caribbean coast on the other. The brackish water teems with animals, home to both freshwater and marine species. This crocodile seemed more interested in working on his tan than worrying about us. Casa Cenote, full of life and light, is the perfect end to our diving adventures.
We're going into a cavern area, so there is one thing which is a little bit more dangerous than every other dive you've ever done, and that's that we're in an overhead environment. But everything else about the dive is super safe. We have awesome visibilities. We have lots of light that comes into the cenotes. So it's, I think, one of the safest kind of dives that you can actually do.
We've only scratched the surface, and there are literally thousands of cenotes waiting for us to explore, each one brimming with history and mystery. I can't wait to descend once again into the underworld of the Maya.